Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are a subscriber, thank you so very much for coming back. You have no idea how much it means to me that you give me just a little bit of your time every single week. So I really do appreciate you and love you. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Liz. I am a faith mama, military wife, and lover of all things life. And so on my channel, you can find basically a roundup of all of those things. So today, we are actually going to talk about pregnancy symptoms. If you are new, I am currently 33 weeks pregnant, so I am rounding it out. We're about to get to the finish line. It's about to be done. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and now this will be our first son. So I am super excited, but I figured why not share with you my different pregnancy symptoms. I'm a little bit late to the game. Usually I see other YouTubers, they kind of do one video for first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, you know, kind of separate it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you the symptoms first that made me like, girl, you might want to take a pregnancy test. And then I'm going to tell you the symptoms basically by trimester throughout this video. So let me also apologize if my lighting looks super crazy. Daylight savings time got the best of your girl. I am filming at night with just a bright light in my face, so I apologize. And your girl ain't got no makeup on. So again, please forgive the crazy look if I look crazy. Eyebrows ain't even fleeked. You know what I'm saying? All right, so anyways, I'm sorry, I'm tired, but I had to get this video filmed for you guys because I want to be consistent for you guys. So without any more interruptions or me rambling, let's jump into the video. All right, so what symptoms did I have that first made me think, Liz, you probably need to take a pregnancy test? This first symptom was actually something that I touched on in a previous video. If you have not watched it already, at the end, I'm going to put in a link so that you guys can see it, but it's 10 totally TMI things that nobody tells you about pregnancy. And let me tell you, I keep it real with you, girl, okay? So definitely check out that video. If you haven't had children yet, you're going to be like, girl, what? That happens? I'll be like, yes, girl, it does. And if you have had children, you're probably going to be like, girl, yes, preach it, because then nobody tell me. You're right, because nobody tells you these things. So anyways, the first symptom that made me like, what the heck is going on, is blurry vision. And I mentioned it in the previous video, but literally I was in a store, and you know, you're just in a store, you look, you see the price of something, you grab it. I had to get like super close to the shelf to actually even see the price. So it was something that was very odd. I'm already just extra blind without contacts, so the fact that I had my contacts in and could not see a thing was like, okay, something is going on. The next symptom that I had was extreme fatigue. So every pregnancy differs, right? And with my daughter, the only symptom that I had was tiredness. That was it. And then throughout the rest of my pregnancy, I just wanted fruit. I craved fruit. Those were the only two symptoms that I had for my daughter, for my pregnancy with my daughter. This pregnancy, your girl done had blurry vision, and then I got super tired. I remember I was sitting there like prepping dinner, and I was like chopping stuff, and I just felt like your girl could just knock out. Just standing there, I could fall asleep and sleep for 10 years. I don't even know. I was just so very tired, but for whatever reason it didn't click right away. I was like, okay. I mean, I don't even do a lot at work, so I don't know why I thought like, oh, maybe it was a rough day at work. I was just so tired. And you hear people talk about the exhaustion. It's just something beyond the tiredness that you've ever felt. You're just everything is just tired, and you could just sleep forever. So that was the second symptom that made me think like, okay, something is going on. The next one, you hear about this often, was that I was emotional. And it wasn't like at all things, but I remember specifically, I was watching Dr. Pimple Popper. I don't know if you guys watched that, but she like removes cysts and different things like that. And I started boo-hooing when she took a cyst out of somebody. Like, what was that about? And then I was thinking like, oh girl, you about to start your period, because why are you crying watching Dr. Pimple Popper? It was very weird. Something else looking back, it's not really a symptom, but it's very weird, is that when I was pregnant with my daughter, there was this show that was on TLC. It was called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, and I would watch that. And I watched it a lot. It was before I knew I was pregnant, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm watching this, and I didn't know I was pregnant. And then I had never seen it in the 5 years. Never seen it on in the 5 years since then. And then all of a sudden it was popping up again on TLC. And maybe it's been on there this whole time and I just been missing it. But I found it very weird that, again, whenever I was pregnant and didn't realize it, that all of a sudden I was watching and seeing I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant, that show. That's not, obviously not a symptom, but something kind of interesting to think about. Think about those little signs that happen, right? So yeah, those were the 3 things. Oh, there was one more thing. This is gonna be weird. But my pee, it smelled real weird. Not nasty, not dirty. Like, don't get it twisted, okay? Don't be like, Liz, ew, gross. It just smelled weird, and maybe it was my heightened sense of smell that was causing it. I have read people kind of describe their pee smell as smelling like ammonia. For me, I wouldn't say it smelled like ammonia. I don't know what it was. It just smelled so odd to me, and I would just be like, that's weird. What's going on there? What's going on there? So those 4 things combined, plus the I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant TV show popping up all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? If I miss my period even by a day, I'm gonna take a pregnancy test. And sure enough, your girl was pregnant. And that's what led me to here. So then throughout the rest of my first trimester, some of the other symptoms that I had, blurry vision continued, the emotionalness continued, then lower back aches started to kick in. Now, I don't remember these things happening with my daughter, but I'm thinking because this is my second pregnancy, like the back aches, the round ligament pain, they all kind of started real early. And if you do research, like you'll read on your subsequent pregnancies, a lot of those pregnancy symptoms will kind of manifest a lot earlier because your body's been through it once, and so it already knows what to do. But then I started getting lower back aches in my first trimester. The bloat was real, right? I looked super bloated all the time. And the constipation was ridiculous. And I don't appreciate that because I'm a very regular person. So I was like, what's going on down there? Why is this not working out? That's another thing that you go through because of, I guess, there's some hormone that slows down your digestive system in pregnancy so that your baby can get all the nutrients that it needs. But that leads to constipation, which is just no fun, my friend. The next one was that I was constantly hot at night. I am never hot. I am always cold. I am always wearing a sweatshirt. Like my husband, he keeps the AC down real low because he is always hot. And I'm literally always in a sweatshirt, super long pajama pants, socks, bundled up and going to bed like that. No, your girl was in shorts and didn't even need a blanket because I was hot. So again, that hotness starts, the constipation starts. There's just all kinds of fun stuff that starts. The final thing within my first trimester, that is a pregnancy symptom, was a super gross taste in my mouth. And again, my neighbor, hey Sandy girl, if you're watching this, I remember when I was telling her, I think I'm pregnant, the first time, before I wasn't pregnant when I was talking to her actually, but she was like, do you have a weird taste in your mouth? Like, does it taste like metal or like nickels? And I was like, no, it's not like that. But it was just a super gross, weird taste in my mouth all the time. And I always felt like I just need to scrub my teeth over and over and over again. And I need to drink tons of water. And I need to drink like juice or eat something because I need this taste out of my mouth. Luckily, I've read stories of people who say like that taste actually can alter the way food tastes to them and all of that. Thank God that didn't happen to me because I was already dealing with nausea, was another one. I could not imagine having to deal with nausea and having a gross taste in my mouth that made everything taste weird. It was just like I needed to eat to get that taste out of my mouth. Super, super weird. And then like I mentioned, nausea definitely kicked in the first trimester. Never threw up, but just all day, not morning sickness, all day sickness, just like feeling like I am going to be sick. I'm going to be sick all day long. Everything just made me like, ugh, ugh. Even talking about it, I feel like I'm gonna throw up right now. But that's something I will mention later on. All right, so moving into the second trimester, my nausea didn't go away right away. It kind of lingered into the second trimester, but thankfully it finally went away. The next one was heartburn started kicking in bad. And I guess it's because like of your expanding uterus. Again, all these hormones, they relax things within your system, and so that relaxes whatever it is that closes off like your gastric juices from coming up. That relaxes that, and so then you can get that coming back up, which is so terrible. So that's kind of why you deal with heartburn, and I was definitely dealing with heartburn in my second trimester. The blurry vision continued. It has not gone away. Because of the nausea, I didn't have any appetite whatsoever. Like, I like to cook, I like to eat, like that's kind of like my favorite thing to do. And so it really sucked to feel like I don't want to eat. Nothing sounds good because I am nauseous all the time. And it just, I don't know, I had no appetite, which really sucks. Actually, my weight ended up dropping a lot. I think I lost like 10 pounds between like my first and second trimester, and then I've kind of started to go up because I just had no desire to eat, no appetite whatsoever, which is pretty crazy. The next one was I started to get headaches, and I'm not sure if it's the hormones, I'm not sure. I know I was like not drinking as much water as I should have, but I would get headaches at night quite a bit. So that was something weird that was going on and that I don't normally get, but happened to get with pregnancy. The next one was hip pain because your hips are spreading. They're getting ready for that baby. And these hips was a hurting. So hip pain is a big one. Luckily, I got my wonderful pregnancy pillow. My husband bought it for me. I think next week I'm going to have a video for you on pregnancy must-haves to kind of alleviate those symptoms, help you deal with those. So be on the lookout for that video. But hip pain is no joke. I mentioned this in my other video too, congestion. This just kicked in kind of in my second trimester, and again, has not gone away, and you probably heard it. So I'm constantly congested, constantly sniffing, doing all of that, and then it makes me feel nauseous because like, ugh, who likes to just like sniff all the time? Boogers and stuff, gross. No thank you, right? So congestion is something that you may deal with. I don't know. I think I've read also, I do a lot of reading, if you can't tell. But I have read too that, you know, your blood vessels are kind of dilated, and so then that can lead to some of the congestion that you may be experiencing because it dilates everywhere, not just like the rest of your body. It's going to be in your nose and all of that. And the constipation continued into the second trimester. All right, third trimester. So the gross taste in my mouth only was like the end of the first trimester into like the beginning of the second trimester, and then now it's come back towards the end of my third trimester, which, excuse me, I don't appreciate that. But yes, the gross taste is back. Not all the time, but there are just some days when I'm like, ugh, why does my mouth taste like this? I need water, I need to eat, I need to do something, right? So unfortunately, you may be looking forward to that coming your way. The next one is that the no appetite is back, unfortunately. I got my appetite back for a little bit when the nausea went away, but I think that it's because of how big my uterus is. There's just not much room for food. And also because, unfortunately, my nausea has come back a little bit. It's not as bad as it was in the beginning where it's like all day, every day, but just from time to time, I just get waves of nausea where I'm like, ugh, and I don't want to eat and all of that. So that is unfortunate, but apparently something that goes on in pregnancy. Heartburn is back. It's wonderful. Well, it never really left. It's just kind of off and on. Again, your growing uterus just pushes everything up. You have less room, and it's just another fun part of pregnancy. Blurry vision, again, never went away. Congestion never went away. I can't breathe, y'all. I can't breathe. I'm constantly out of breath. Actually, I'm doing surprisingly well right now talking in this video, But for work, I teach classes to soldiers as they are transitioning out of the military. And so when I am up teaching class, it's an all-day class, I cannot breathe. I'm literally like, can somebody read this out of the book for me? So that's not fun. But again, your uterus is crowding your lungs and it makes it a lot more difficult to breathe. Contractions have actually kicked in. And those, you know, they say are Braxton Hicks, so I'm going to assume that they are Braxton Hicks, but they're pretty often. Not regular for me to say, oh my gosh, I'm in labor, but I literally be like, oh, what's happening? And then it'll go away. Or I'll change positions, or I'll get up and walk, or I'll sit down, or whatever it is that I need to do. I'll make whatever change needs to be made, and then those contractions will stop. So that's fun that my body is preparing already. This little boy is just ready to get out. And then the final one, and you probably hear about this, is that nesting syndrome. Right now, I am like going crazy because if you've watched any of my other videos, we are getting ready to PCS in about 6 months. For those of you who are not military, PCS basically means move within the military. They tell you where to go and you go. So I'm trying to get rid of stuff, but I'm also like, I want to set up a nursery. I want to buy all this wonderful stuff for my baby. And I'm like, husband, can you move this from here to there? And can you set up the crib? And can you do this, that, and the other? Because I really, really want it. Because I want to get it done. And the cleaning, y'all, the cleaning is crazy. I have literally been hands and knees, scrubbing baseboards, shampooing carpets, just going at it because I just want my home to be ready and nice and clean and safe for my little new baby. So those are the symptoms, the pregnancy symptoms that I have been experiencing. One, the ones that were like, girl, take a pregnancy test, and then all the pregnancy symptoms throughout my pregnancy. So I want to know in the comments below, can you relate? What are some of the symptoms that I mentioned that you experienced too? Are there any that I did not mention that you have experienced? I also want to make sure that you remember, check out that video, 10 totally TMI things that nobody tells you about pregnancy, which I will leave linked at the end. And again, if you are not a subscriber, if you like me, you like what you see, and you like the content that I put out there, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You can even hit the notification bell so that you never ever miss a video, and I will be back next week with another video for you. Later, loves.